subscribe to our channel to keep up with all the latest from Simpin After Dark and everything else at Wild 7 Studios. Welcome back to another episode of Simpin After Dark. It's your girl Ashley Mendoza back here for another episode with some special guests and some fun topics. Recurring guests, by the way.
Alexa Morales.
And April Mendoza of the Nightshade Collective.
Yeah, shout out Nightshade, baby. And
Thanks
shout
for
out
having us.
So Wild 7 Studios for hosting us always. If you are not watching this and you are only listening, make sure to head over to Instagram to give me a follow at Simpin After Dark and check out my new little setup. I wanted to switch it up. I'm kind of fucking digging it. Let me know what you guys think. I am really fucking with it. I think I might stick with this. So yeah,
switching it up.
Yes, thank you ladies for helping me set up like always.
Yes, we got you.
Yeah, today we are talking about some stuff. It's a secret. April and Alexa don't really know. I was just like, you guys are gonna be on today, so show up, look cute, and we gonna do it. I found a song, or I was listening to this artist, Yo Trane. Okay, April on the mixer.
Hey. Look at me. Was that good?
Yeah.
I was listening to this artist, Yo Trane. He dropped the album. I forgot the name of the album, but the song that we are doing is called Rider. I first heard the song Time and Space, which is really good too. And it's basically about, an independent-ass woman. She's on her own shit, making her money, doesn't have time for no bullshit. Men not being able to handle her because she's outspoken, doesn't let the bullshit slide. It's kind of the ideal woman that most men can't actually handle when it comes down to it. It's the woman that's good in theory more than anything. So I kind of also want to intertwine that and the idea of being submissive in a relationship, because I feel like that's kind of pushed on a lot of people, especially if you grew up Christian or religious at all, which I'm not, but I was exposed to this topic. Are you guys familiar with that whole being submissive thing?
I mean, very familiar in different regards, definitely.
Yeah.
But
what about any of you guys with like the whole Christianity aspect of it? Have you heard of that?
With Christianity?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember going to one of my aunt's house one time and seeing like a thing in the bathroom about like you need to submit to your husband. He is first. Right. He comes before your children. Like it's him and God. Yeah. Like you live to serve your man, do whatever he does type thing.
I always forget that Christianity and Catholicism is like so intertwined.
Yeah.
Like we grew up Catholic,
They just don't Christians just don't worship like the saints, or they don't pray to them or something, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's like same but different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not very religious myself. Anyone that knows me knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's an interesting topic. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting, and I can't wait to get into it because like I have my own opinions and stuff about it, with like paganism as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so many angles.
The evolution of it, and just like where like I don't know, everything stems from. And
yeah, and even for me, like my struggle with it, being raised religious, quote unquote, not really, but like learning about it and like growing up in a household where it's like I'm Mexican, so like the whole machista thing where it's like woman has to do all the shit around the house, cook, clean, raise the kids. Versus the man brings home the dough and is a provider, protector.
Yeah, in the 1950s.
Yes, exactly. So it's a struggle between that and then the whole like wave of feminism and like I'm an independent woman, kind of like with this song we're going to talk about. And then like now being older and kind of questioning like, do I want to submit to a man? Does that sound nice, kind of?
In bed.
There's levels. There's levels.
There's levels. I'm like, oh.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited
no,
to get
for
into
sure
this.
there are levels. Nothing is black and white.
Nothing. There's levels, and like I can't even say I'm like firmly in one position about it.
Yeah.
So
Same here.
For sure.
we could talk about it. I got tweets. I got some articles we could refer to.
Yeah, definitely.
All that. So it's gonna be a good episode.
And the three of us, I think, have very similar beliefs, but also very different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so the song is called Rider. And it's basically, yeah, like I said, just about like a boss ass bitch. It's this guy singing about it, Yo Trane. The first time I ever heard about him was that song Time and Space that like popped up on Spotify, which is actually the name of the album. I just looked. I'm on Genius Lyrics right now. It's a really good album. He has all that baby making music, kind of like soul trap shit, but I don't know. It's nice. I like it. His voice is really good.
Nice.
It dropped February of this year, so go listen to it if you have not. Oh, April's ready to push the button. I have April on the mixer because I'm far away. We're switching up.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Can I press the button yet?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play a clip of that song.
Let's see me not.
Rider by Yo Trane. All right. Did you guys get a chance to listen to it before?
My bad. Did you control that from your end?
No, I trimmed the song and I edited it so that I.
Oh damn!
smooths
Okay,
out,
you
yeah.
didn't tell me that part. Okay, my bad.
No, you're good. April's like, what do I do?
I fucked up.
Nah, you good. Yeah. Have you guys listened to any of Yo Trane's music before at all?
No.
Girl, you turn us on to everything.
You really do. I'm like, wait.
So how do you like the song?
It's a bop.
It is.
Little bop,
A little boppity bop.
the little smooth vibe, make you want
Bippity
to
boppity.
have sex, maybe boppity boppity.
A little
Get this
bippity boppity.
fucking lady out of here.
It's a little bippity boppity.
That's April. Yes.
I have too many drinks.
I love having people like reoccurring guests on here because y'all just warm up every time more and more. Yes.
You'll get to know the real
The personalities shine and the bippity bop just hopped out of April. Yes, we love it. All right. So I don't know if you guys understood any of the lyrics.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So it starts verse 1. Fine as wine, pretty smart too. Okay. So already off the bat, relatable. Shawty's independent. She in Paris spending money on designer clothes and high-end shoes. Okay. So not as relatable a little bit right now, but you know, manifesting for the future.
Manifesting.
Yeah.
In other ways, you know, we're all bougie on levels.
Yeah.
And then he says, this is where like the clip starts off that I just played. Alpha woman can't fuck with the lame. If he gotta ask you what you want and he can't give it to you, talk is cheap. Your ex is too. They just playing around. Now you got it. Don't you pay him no mind. And then the chorus, want a real man by her side. That girl, she's a rider. Can't handle her because she don't let the bullshit slide. She ain't got the time. No. Pretty much. True. This bitch. Oh my god, we are those old ladies on TikTok that get all the sounds stuck in our head.
You see that?
I don't even know what it means.
You see that TikTok video?
Have you seen that TikTok ass bitches? But yeah, so I heard this song and I was like, okay, like this resonates for me in many ways. Just the whole factor of, you know, Shawty's independent and smart and fine.
Fine as wine.
And then, yeah, so talk is cheap, your ex is too. So he knows, like trying to fuck with a woman like this, like you can't just come to her with talk, like she'll see right through it. Like women like this that are smart, like you can't just sweet talk them. Like your actions are gonna speak louder. What you do is gonna like lay the blueprint for everything in this relationship. Like you can't just keep these bitches there and like hope it'll work out. Like this is a relationship that's gonna take effort, right?
So he's implying that he likes this kind of chase and this kind of intellect and this kind of
I think so.
sophistication or whatever.
We'll see in verse 2,
Yeah,
but
we'll
like
see.
for now, like the chorus, like what I fuck with and what resonated with me the most, especially with like being a woman that's always been kind of comfortable being outspoken and like saying what I mean in a relationship and like not like backing down from, you know, being portrayed as naggy or like whatever, because I don't give a fuck. Like you're not going to paint me that way. There's a tweet I saw the other day that was referring to a thread that was going around Twitter. I honestly don't even know what it was, but people were talking about it. And the tweet was like, that thread talking about like women that are always like nagging or blah, blah, blah. Like I ain't never seen no woman like be on a man like that if he's actually doing everything right. let that sit with you.
Yeah, and if you fucking love him, like I think you said something earlier where you were like, yeah, let me fucking, or something about like nagging, but it's like, what the fuck did you say?
What did I say?
I don't know. It was something like, oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. Pretty much that I want like the fucking best for you. Like we're always nagging because we want the fucking best for you. That's why some of us show our love.
It's
you
like
know?
for your best interest.
Exactly.
So you're still complaining.
Yeah, like if you have someone that's not trying to help you in any way, they probably don't even care if you like that. They probably don't see nothing long term with you. Like they probably just see you as someone that they want to have fun with for now, so they don't see an issue in trying to like ask you or like suggest things. And of course it's all in like the way you like communicate things. But like if you're being respectful, like then there's no problem in like suggesting something. And what I also have realized that a lot of times all you can do is just be your best self and hope that that inspires your partner to be better as well, so that you're like both like at your potential for each other.
Like if you're gonna be saying shit, lead by example as well. Like don't just be fucking criticizing and saying all this shit. Like,
like if you're gonna ask something of someone, it's because you can also do that for them.
I love that because I feel like a lot of this stuff crosses over into like the professional space and like business, you know. It's like the way that you sort of like treat your significant other, you sort of treat, you know, like people that you work with. And I don't know, it's like it kind of just defines who you are. Like you that's just how you communicate with others. You know?
If that's how you are, you're probably going to be like that in every aspect of your life, like with your loved ones, like friends or partner or business wise or whatever that is.
Like you boss bitch, like it's going to cross over everywhere.
True.
So that's why like the chorus, like when he says can't handle her because she don't let the bullshit slide. I love that because I think a lot of men love a woman that's like a boss bitch, like got her own dough, like got her own car, like blah, blah, blah. Asking all these things of women, like wanting a woman that's not just like.
In theory.
I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Theory.
They want these things in theory, but then when they date someone like that, they're like, like she's busy, like she has all these things going on. She's demanding. She knows what she wants. And a lot of times that's intimidating for men.
Or it's like you're always around a lot of people. Or it's like, damn, are you making more money than me?
And I've heard some fucking men say, like, date a man at that point, you know what I mean? Where just openly, like, just like they want a submissive woman. But really, like, it's, I don't know. It's just.
That's crazy.
That's fucking irritating to me.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean date a man?
That's what, like, okay, so
a man dating another man.
Like, you know, some men are just like, like,
you mean just
independent, has her own car, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well,
because
what's the point then? Because your ego is this fucking small.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Because I actually feel that way about men that are always complaining about women. Like, oh, women, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So be gay. So date a man then, since you fucking hate women so much. Like, if you're misogynistic, you hate women so much, then why aren't you dating a man if men are so great?
But it does go both ways, I think.
And women do that, where it's like, I've known women that time and time again get fucked over by these men, and then it's just like, you know what, fuck this. And then they end up with a fucking woman. So yes, if you hate women so fucking much, date a guy then. Try it out.
And if you want to like throw that back at women, well, guess what? Statistically, and I don't know if this is a fact, but statistically, women are dating more women now, like nowadays. I've seen a lot of things where women are encouraging other women to like, instead of like buying a house with like a man, buy a house with like a close partner. Or instead of like having kids with a man, like be with a partner, a woman, where you're raising a child together.
Whoa.
Yeah, like for me, even like I love Kaylani for kind of not relying on a man to have a child. She said, I want a baby. And she went and had a baby with, it was like a close friend, a guy, and like they co-parent, but like that's her baby. And she didn't wait to have a romantic partner. Because she was like, you know what? I'm like enough to raise a child. Like I'm like aware of everything, of like my patterns, and like I want to be this person for my child, and I don't need anyone else.
Bro, that's awesome.
Yeah, like if you're financially stable, like definitely go for it. I mean, it's kind of the equivalent of like lesbians, you know, asking for, you know, a sperm donor or, you know, a guy to kind of like help them conceive.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like these days, like financially wise, like if we're talking financially stable, it's not like women can't do that. Like back in the day, maybe that was like less feasible because women weren't working. But nowadays, women are working full time just like men. So it's like, why rely on another man? Like back then, it was like, yeah, you need a man if you want a family because like you stay home and raise the kids. But now you're both working. So does it matter if you're with a man? Like if men are complaining about being providers and protectors and complaining about having independent women, like how are you going to be a woman in the workforce and then not be confident and independent? Like you got your own money. Like how do you expect women not to be that way? You know, that's how men are.
Yeah.
So shit.
That's insane.
So verse 2, she already know she poppin', baddest girl in town. It's like every time she trusts someone, they let her down. She queen and she doesn't even need a crown. She want a king to come around and just show her love through actions. He says he's in love with you. Talk is cheap. Fake guys too. They just playing around. Now you got it. Don't you pay him no mind. So same thing. Talking about talk is cheap. Like these dudes can say all this shit. But nah, not really. Like when you know you got it like that, when you know you're bad, when you know you're independent, you're making your own money, when you know you're not going to take no shit. And, like, you're not going to, like, humble yourself or, like, quiet yourself for anybody. Like, no one can tell you shit. And, like, all that's going to happen is you're going to attract a man that can actually meet you at that level. So don't let nobody
What's
try to humble you.
What's his artist name again?
Yo Trane.
Yo Trane, yeah. So I feel like Yo Trane is kind of trying to put this into perspective, like, trying to tell women, like, don't listen to, like, you know, the hype and, like, what guys claim to love about women. You know, it's like, dude, just be boss on your own. Like, be
boss, and also don't fall for dudes that are gonna pretend to be about that. Talk is cheap. Look at the actions. Don't just listen to, like, anyone can sweet talk you. Don't let that sweep you or take you off the market.
Exactly. Like the type of women that he's describing, like they're independent on their own. And I feel like I know so many, like, man, I have so many friends like this, and so I just know so many women that are just like beautiful, amazing, independent, just amazing human beings, and like they're fine on their own, and then someone comes along and pretends like they're about, you know, they like what they're about, and they're like, oh, I love that you're all independent and shit, and like, you know, that you make a lot of money, and you know, you don't need me, and it's like, I want you, and then, you know, something happens, they start dating, and it's always the men that are just like just ruining the relationship and just like getting possessive, or
they get insecure because of that and they cheat.
And then they cheat, and then like they're still not good enough.
Yeah, that's a whole another thing too, which kind of like verse 3 starts, girl, I bet sometimes you feel like you won't fall in love again, been fucked over before, and now you know they playing games. You just want the real thing. Like, yeah, I think a lot of times when you are that woman, men idealize you, and then you end up getting let down over and over because, you know, like, you're just trusting. At the end of the day, you're still just a good person. So, like, when you go into these relationships and somebody sweet talks you and gasses you up, like, you think this could be it, and then they let you down because they leave, or they're insecure, become possessive, or they cheat on you because they're insecure because you're so independent, and it's just dealing with that over and over again. It can just push someone to where, like, they don't want to fucking deal with that anymore. Like, they're just jaded now. Yeah, so.
Reminds me of Molly from Insecure.
Shout out Insecure. Shout out Issa Rae.
I love you, Issa.
We love Insecure. No, but yeah, for sure. Molly's definitely, like, boss bitch, making her own money, doing that thing.
But she desperately wants to be in a relationship,
she does.
too.
Yes.
Yeah. I get that, you know. You just want to be the, you know,
everyone does.
Everyone wants to be loved, you know, who doesn't?
And you just want to have it all, too. It's like, but man, I feel like it's just so hard to have both.
When and that's like, where compromise just has to.
When you're like a Molly, man, like you have that kind of apartment that she has, and you work those hours, like I can't imagine like finding someone that's cool with that.
Gotta be a strong ass man, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can't fall for that talk. Don't do that, because anyone can tell you the right things you want to hear. Yeah. So then it says, smiles and tears, wedding ring. Find a dude who's going to be invested in you and keep the business on the low. Treat you like gold. You never stop, hoping one day it'll happen. You know you got to pay attention to the signs. You need a man who give you peace of mind. And that's key right there. Because, like, if a dude's going to be just dragging you down, exhausting you, bringing your energy down and your whole vibe down, like, that ain't it. Like, you need to find a man, and I just tweeted this the other day, like, you need to be with a partner that's gonna, like, support you 100% in all your dreams, like, through the thick and thin, like, from the bottom to the top, like, supporting you through and through. Like, that's so important. It'll make or break you.
They're out there, ladies. I promise.
Yes.
They're out there.
We love
You just gotta know your fucking worth. You know?
Yeah.
100%. So this is, you know, I think people can relate to this. Women can relate to this. Men can probably relate to this, where like they see like women like this dealing with the wrong dudes, and they're like, nah, like just wait it out. Like you'll find the right man. But then, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, like, okay, do you think that a man truly, or like, you know, some partner truly loves another partner if, you know, they claim to be about you and support you, but are intimidated by you or whatever, and like, do you think that they'll be able to fully support you ever if they're intimidated by you and like don't want you to be better than them? Like, do you think that that's true love? Like, do you think that someone could truly love you and you know, not want you to be better than them?
Wait.
That's rough.
I think, yes. I feel like...
Or is it something that people just kind of have to go past? Because I feel like obviously it goes both ways. It's not man or woman or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's always a competition between, you know,
There's
like especially with independent people. It's always a competition with like, you know, like I want to be more successful, or like I you know, whatever. Like just there's jealousy and like there's things involved.
Yeah.
But like I think a lot of times with men, like, you know, they claim to be about it, but then, you know, they get intimidated.
I think
like,
insecurity always steps in the picture.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think in every relationship there should be that like friendly competition. Not even just that there's going to be that competition, like
just to push each other to be better.
Exactly. That's how you push each other, motivate each other, and I think that's love. And so yeah, I think you really can. Like you can find someone that will want you to be up here, and like that's love.
Yeah, I think as long as it's like not teetering the line of like motivating each other and like being just straight up jealous, you know,
or like I'm purposely trying to put you down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like blocking your blessings.
Where I'm like, because I feel like, okay, I dated like a long time ago when I was super young, and I was just always just like I'm always antsy. I'm just like I have to be out doing something. I have to be working, you know, hustling, whatever. And like, you know, he would just like try to keep me in bed, and it's like, no, stay here. And it's like, okay, I love that. Like, that's like loving, and that's, you know, that's cute. But like, I don't know. I feel like secretly it was just like,
you knew you wanted more.
I feel like secretly they just kind of want you to just sort of like not be at that level, because it's like they're not ready to be at that level. You know what I mean?
Because they know they might lose you once you get to that level, because they know they ain't shit. And if you reach a new level, like why are you still going to be with them?
Yeah.
Not to say like you have to stay toe to toe to stay with someone. Like once you reach another level, like no one's worth it. But that's the thing. Like if they're supporting you, then but if they're trying to hold you back, then it's like, no.
Yeah. And I don't think there's like anything wrong with that. That probably just means that like it wasn't a good fit, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Different levels or whatever. But
you guys had different visions for your future.
Yeah.
And that's important, because if you have completely different ideas of what you want, that'll end up clashing. So that's an important conversation to have.
Because I think especially when you're growing, like in your early 20s, and someone's just like so, you know, complacent with like what they have, or just, you know, just so chill about it.
Which is fine. But like if you have big dreams, like that's not the person for you.
Yeah. But it's also, it's like your early 20s, you know? It's like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everyone's on their own journeys. You can't judge people, but like,
there's no wrong way to live, like, or like visualize your life.
Yeah. Just relationships are really difficult when you're like really growing up and maturing and figuring out who you are. Like, I think honestly, just like, your early 20s, like before you're 30, you're still discovering who you are, you know? And if you manage to stay together at that age, like, props, because, you know.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Me and Nipple were watching something like at night. I forgot how I was like, damn, it trips me out, like high school sweethearts that like are still together, like when they're like in their 30s, 40s. Because like me looking back when I was like in high school, and even like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I'm constantly changing. But you know, like those years.
Yeah.
Like I've changed so much. Like I don't even know who I was back then. So like to be able to change on that level and be with the same partner where like you both are changing, and it's like you're just like continuing to get to know each other, it's a beautiful thing, but like that's hard for my mind to grasp. Like, congrats if like you did that and you actually did grow together. Because I feel bad for the people that did not grow together. Oh, that's right, you did.
Like
I mean,
Randy
you pretty much were.
It's work, but like it's beautiful.
Like, that's 1 in a million, though.
And I was 21. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't always fucking like rainbows and butterflies. You know, it's fucking work. And if you really love each other, like we were growing and we changed, but ultimately, like, we see the same future. Like,
and do you think your guys' visions for your future kind of changed for yourselves, like, the more you realize you're going to be together? Like, do you ever feel like you had to compromise in that way, or you just always wanted the same thing?
Always wanted the same thing.
And I feel like that's the only way it could truly work.
Like, it's
and
like...
stay happy and not be resentful.
Yes,
like,
that part, resentful.
Yes, exactly. And I've never felt that way, where I felt like I had to change anything that I wanted in my life, you know?
As long as I've known you guys, you've always, like, wanted the same things, like, you know, your future, his future, like, your careers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to have the same career paths, but as long as, like, your shit is compatible.
But you're not compromising. Like, Alexa's not like, oh, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing to be with you.
Exactly.
Because I love you.
Yeah,
because
eventually...
and that's beautiful, but, like... You have to live with that forever.
At the end
you
of the
have to be 100% sure about that.
Yeah, like I still got to do, like, all these years, like I never felt like I don't regret anything. I never felt left out. Like I still got to do
like you had to give anything up.
Exactly. Like I got to do whatever I got to live my life, you know, and that's what you have to find, like someone that trusts you and just that communication, and you guys could both have what you want, you know?
Yeah.
For all the listeners, I just want to say, man, like, their relationship, you know, is really special. They've been at it for many years.
Thanks, guys.
How many years? 9 years?
It's going to be 9 years this week.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Love you, baby.
Drops. Yeah.
We love Randy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely possible, because I know you always say that. It's like, you know, it takes many years to get past everything and just, you know, to be able to find your communication and, you know, just find... what makes it work for you guys.
But that's also going to be like so crazy looking back at how young you were and like seeing how far you came. Like, oh my God. I see pictures of you guys when you were little and I'm like, oh my God.
It's a trip. And you know, he and I, like, he doesn't, I'm pretty sure he doesn't mind if I fucking say it, but like nothing too crazy, but we've definitely had falling outs, like where we, you know, weren't together, or like we just needed like a fucking break, or like we really broke
like
up,
that's such a long time, especially at like those integral years of like growing when you're like in your early 20s. We're like, I'm sure, like, but the fact that you guys stayed strong and stayed together, that's what matters.
And ultimately, just because you guys have like a common goal and just
and you both have that vision for your future, and it includes each other in that, and it's like on the same level, and you both have dreams that are, like, are similar and compatible. So like that's what anybody needs to find for themselves, like if you're gonna make a relationship last, because like whether like you're dating in your early 20s or 30s or 40s, like we live to like we're old as shit, so like people are living till like they're 100 nowadays, so that's still a long path. So no matter how old you are, like find someone whose lifestyle is compatible with yours, or that supports you 100% of the way, like that is excited for your dreams and your vision and wants to be a part of it.
Don't get me wrong, he gets on my fucking nerves.
Of course, they all do. Okay, he's a man.
So you'd be lying if you said, you know, he didn't, or the relationship didn't.
You know,
everyone
that's
does.
Just a relationship, though. Like,
yes, we love it. So we can segue kind of into what Elsa wanted to talk about. Submitting to your man. Yes. So yes, this is my dilemma, because like, okay,
that's another tip, ladies. Never just kidding.
Is it? I don't know. That's not what the art. That's not what science says. I'm just
literally
kidding.
What do you mean by submit to your man?
It's a balance. It's a fucking balance, because you know.
Yes.
And this is all very gender specific too, right?
It is.
It's okay. It's a lot. Like most of the like articles, I was like just Googling a lot of this shit that was popping up was like religion based, and like it doesn't have to be. I just think it stems from that, which is why it's kind of off putting if you're not religious, because you're like, what the fuck that?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I always say, sometimes I like to be like the lion. And sometimes I like to be like the little kitten, like the little kitty, you know? Like I like to be submissive.
Exactly.
You gotta have that balance.
Exactly.
And like the way for me that I've kind of come to like considerate more is thinking of it in terms of like when you think sex, like a submissive and a dominant, right?
Yeah.
Like neither one's bad, you know? Like it's just your preference. But what it comes down to is like trust and communication. Cause like you're not gonna submit to a dude you just met. Like if this dude's gonna be tying you up and like smacking your ass with like a wood thing.
Pallets and shit.
Yeah, like you would never like let a random man do that.
Yeah,
it's like you need to develop the relationship to where you're comfortable and you trust them. It's all about 100% trust.
Well,
you know,
trust, consent, and
all that. Yeah, all that. So like, if you're in a relationship where like it's like, why the fuck would I submit to this dude? Then yeah, why the fuck would you submit to this dude?
Yeah,
but that's why it's like this is for healthy relationships, and I could see how it could help in like a marriage or a long-term relationship.
Yeah, or
because not everything has to end in marriage, and that's foreshadowing for a future episode.
Should I?
Who I want guests to come on, you know, people with some views.
Janine, Adeline, get your asses on here.
Don't
ASAP.
be a little bitch.
We're
Come
looking
through.
at you.
Looking at you. Anyway. Okay, so I found this article. It was this website called Voices from the Blogs. I don't know if it's churchy. I'm not sure. Like their tabs are like
the picture is very corny.
Inspiration. It's like two white people hugging.
Ew, I don't like that. Submitting to your husband.
But it almost looks like heaven, right? Like the gold like clouds in the background.
Okay, yes. Hear me out, ladies. I know it sounds terrible. And trust me, you know me. I'm the last person to want to do this, okay?
You're right.
Okay, so hear me out.
The first thing it says, oh my God.
Okay, stop reading. Okay, let me do it.
Sorry, I'm like.
I'm just saying. Oh my God.
Look at them trying to like get a head start on like trying to read this shit. Like y'all better sit there, look pretty, and let me read this to you.
See?
I'm just hyping you up.
See, and they trust me, so they're submitting. Like, did you see how they sat back? Better shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Are we gonna take
What's up?
Are we gonna submit?
It's your show, all right.
They trust me, so they're going to submit right now. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. We trust you.
We love it. Okay.
Fuck you.
I don't like the wording.
April. I know. Don't focus on that. Okay, let me read. Okay. In the age of feminism and equality, submitting to your husband may sound like a terribly outdated notion. You don't want or need your husband's permission to do anything. You're an independent bitch. It doesn't say bitch, it says woman. After all, but surprisingly, there is some evidence that submission isn't always bad, and it may even have some unexpected benefits, okay? So, it says, why submitting to your husband is good. You may be thinking, well, of course, submitting to my husband is good, but only for him. I get absolutely nothing out of it. But actually, you'd be surprised by the benefits this simple act can have for both you and your marriage. Let's take a look at a few. And I haven't fully gone through this. I kind of looked and I was like, I could see this. I could see this. And of course, I'm still conflicted. But I could see both sides. My Mars is in Libra, so I'm not just gonna like be like, like no, balance. I'm trying to see. Because the benefits are pretty nice.
Okay.
Let's hear 'em.
You show that you trust him. That's number one. Marriage is supposed to be a union between two people who fully and completely trust each other. That means that you're ready to give the reins over to your husband sometimes, especially when it comes to making decisions.
Keyword sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Making decisions. And this is the part where it depends fully on your partner, and why I say you can't submit to any fucking fuck boy, any buffoon, okay? No buffoons are getting submitted to.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like, if it's a decision to be made, like, tell me it doesn't sound nice to, like, trust that your partner can make that decision for you. Decisions take a lot of mental energy, okay? Yeah. To know that you could fully trust, like, your partner to make a financial decision or whatever it is. That sounds nice to me. After like a long, hard day of being an independent boss ass bitch, like it's nice to just relax and let my man take over those decisions. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't just say like just financial stuff.
Anything. Yeah.
But
that's
okay, I think the problem I have with this article, it's fucking weird looking, but
it's because it's the white people, huh?
It's very like, you know, Christian, and it's like whenever they say, oh, trust him, it's like, I don't know, it's just like rooted in like Christianity
and God.
Like, yeah, it's a patriarchy.
Trust God, like, and then he drowns.
I am not about Noah's Ark. That, But
I think so.
You can translate this article if you're talking about just partners in general.
Yeah, of course. Because, like, for, like, homosexual couples, gay couples, lesbian couples, whatever it is, non-binary people.
Partnerships.
Like, there's always a submissive and always a dominant at the end of the day, I think.
Yes.
You know? And maybe you decide, April, that you want to be the dominant and that your man needs to submit to you. Yeah. And that's all fine and dandy. I love that. We support that.
Yes,
no.
What do you mean, no? Because I can see that.
No, I feel like people usually want something different in bed, like something different than they're used to.
Are you talking sex now?
Oh, yeah. Are we not talking sex?
Yeah, I'm looking where her mind's at.
I mean, we was talking finances and decisions.
I love your brain.
She said since when? How did you get there?
Well,
did I miss the part?
You were talking about being
when
dominant.
You got there?
You're talking about being dominant and like.
Okay, yeah. So I was trying to explain like where it made sense for me, because like sex wise.
Oh, right.
It's like, okay, it makes more sense. It was easier for my mind to grasp in that sense, because it's like, okay, for sex, yes, if I'm submissive, which I can relate to that. I think most dominant women may be submissive in bed because, like, you know, it's your time to just submit and not have to be dominant, you know? So that made sense for me, like, realizing, like, yeah, you submit to someone that you trust to make these decisions and they're going to keep your best interest in mind. But then I was like, finance. So we got here. I thought we were on the same page.
Sex.
not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because sex, it's different. You may want to be dominant, whatever it is. But in terms of not sex.
Yeah.
That's something that can make sense for me. Like, that makes me feel at ease. Like, just visualizing that I could have a partner to make decisions that, like, I trust their decision and they make a decision and I'm not like, what the fuck did you make that decision for? Idiot. No, get you a partner that you would trust them 100% making a decision. Like, if you for some reason couldn't be there to discuss it with them, because this isn't saying that they shouldn't discuss it with you. This is just saying like that, like, their ultimate choice that they commit to is going to benefit both of you, you know? Like, everything should still be discussed at the end of the day.
Yeah, I get
that's like trial and error, baby. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, like, you can't always nobody knows the future. Like, you can make a decision that's like, damn, I fucked up. But like, that's also where you, as like a submissive partner or just like a caring partner, would be like, it's okay, baby. Like, you know, you didn't know. You did the best you could do. Like, you didn't know. You made the best decision that you thought you could make. And that's okay. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down.
How do you say try?
I wish I sounded like that. I'm like, I get so pissed.
Girl.
And then after, I'm like, all right, like a day later, I'm just like, I was out of line.
All we could do is do our best.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody messaged me on Simpin last night. He was like, so you know how they say those who can't do teach? Do you practice all the things you talk about? I was like, fuck you. I'm only human. Fuck you.
Wow.
Who's this person?
Let's talk about that.
Fuck, I can't remember. But he's cool. It was just funny. He was like, well, at least you're helping people out here.
That is bold. But again, I think you should do your little spiel.
To teach.
I think you should do your little spiel and remind all of the TikTokers and Instagrammers that
I am not a fucking relationship expert.
You're not a licensed relationship expert.
No, I'm not a licensed therapist. I am not, nor have I ever claimed to be a relationship guru.
She's not teaching anything. She's just laying down what she fucking knows, her experience.
These are conversations that I have on a daily anyway with my friends. It's not like I was like, let me just randomly do some bullshit. What can I do? No, I am doing this because these are things I like to talk about anyway that interest me. And it's based on my experience. And I have experience because I've been toxic. I've cheated. I've been cheated on. I've dealt with toxic people. Like, I've been on both ends of all these things. So that's the only thing I'm here to do. I do like to think that I'm pretty fucking wise. I'm 30 almost. So, like, you know, I've been through it.
Yeah.
And I trust my own judgment. And I know that I can always get through it. And I'm surrounded by friends and stuff that I can talk about these things with.
I love that you're not like an idealist. Like, you're spitting these, like, opinions about your own experiences.
Yeah.
But, like, delving into like the toxic space or the, you know, sort of like kind of conversations that you're not comfortable having usually, or
that people are like afraid to admit.
Know that exactly that, like, you know, these things do happen. Yeah. And it's okay. Like, we've all been there, and people happen to, you know, relate to it.
Yeah. Like, we can all be toxic sometimes. Yes. And, like, sometimes, like, you don't have the friends that you could talk to be like.
Even if you don't want to admit it, everybody's a little bit toxic.
Yeah.
Everyone. Even you idealists that think that you're all perfect.
You're not.
You're not.
And, everyone's toxic, and you're lying.
You're not.
Say you're not.
Nobody's perfect.
I'm not. No one is.
Everyone's a little bit of something sometimes.
Literally, April is, like, the nicest fucking person ever. And we were like,
but to me, she's toxic.
I'm like, she could
kidding.
be a little bit. I'm like,
no, you're not
toxic to herself.
Exactly. I'm not perfect. I'm not good at relationships.
And a relationship could be a relationship with yourself, and you can have a toxic relationship with yourself. So, you know,
absolutely,
whatever it is. But getting back on topic, number 2, you will influence each other. In marriage, unity comes first, individuality second. Do you guys agree with that? How do you feel about that? Ooh. Like, when you're married, like, you're like one.
I like it.
No, I don't agree with that.
I like to be one, but also it's like I love.
No,
I think I've posted something before where it's like, you know, I love that we can celebrate. It's
yours is mine, but mine's is mine.
Yes, actually, exactly. Like
toxic
unity, but also celebrating our individuality.
Well, yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Okay, I can kind of agree because, like, you know, marriage, a partnership, whatever, that comes first. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that your identities are one. It just means that your partnership and your relationship should come first.
Yeah. So what's best for the both of you?
Yes. Yeah. Like, every decision that you make is not based on your individual gains and your selfish needs. It's based on your relationship.
Yeah.
Period.
So that's what it all ties down to, like, having the right partner. Because, like, if it's a decision, you're like, I want this, and, like, they're like, well, I just really think this, like.
It's just a phrasing.
Can you trust them?
It's just a phrasing.
I know. That's what turns people off.
Okay.
Like, that's what, for the longest time, I was like, submitting to a man.
Okay.
The first.
It's just okay. I went to wedding. I think you were there. You were there too, I think. We went to a wedding one time, and, you know, like, I think the person marrying the couple, what are they called again?
Priest?
The ordainers
or
something.
I don't know. You know, was doing his spiel or whatever, and he took these 2, like, glasses full of sand and put them in like a decanter or, like, some kind of vase or whatever, and he's like, you know, these symbolize your guys' marriage and your unity, and you see these, you know, sand going into this glass, you know, vase or whatever. And it's mixed together.
It's just intertwined.
And it will never, ever
You'll never be able
independent again. Because once those pieces are, you know, intertwined.
Yeah, ain't no way I'm going in there picking out all my sands.
You can never go back. And that's scary, isn't it? Like,
it's scary. But also, like, I kind of see it like, you guys will always be connected somehow. So, like, even if you were to get a divorce, like, you guys might have had kids. Like, you guys are always going to be connected in that way. Yeah. But it's not necessarily, like, a scary thing. You know, people shouldn't see it as a scary thing.
I always fear just, like, you know, there's this idea of, like, being an independent woman. Like, I could do everything by myself, you know, and thinking of, like, oh, I'm not going to be independent anymore. It's not about me. You know, I have that fear I'm like, with kids as well, you know.
I feel exhausted just thinking about being an independent woman forever.
Me too. Can we get into this?
Yeah. You know, the older we get, the less feminist we get, right?
I swear to God, like, yes, I've always, like, been full on feminist. Like, I support, like, all my ladies doing their shit. Exactly. There are levels.
Oh, we have to have a podcast about just straight up feminism, because I have wanted to talk about this for a long time.
Straight up, like, we could get into
changes, man, like, and, like, it evolves, and there's so many areas of it. You know?
It is. Yes. It's okay. It's okay. The more, like, you grow in your relationship, like, if you're in a relationship or, like, you start dating or, like, whatever it is, the older you get, like, and, you know, like, in this economy, like, if it was, like, a perfect economy where people were getting paid right for, like, their labor, like, yeah, I could afford an apartment by myself. But realistically, no. So we all kind of, like, not in California. Like, we are in LA, like, outside, all this. Yeah, no. So, like, you have to, like, your mind, like, mold it into accepting that you're gonna need, like, to live with someone, either a roommate or a person. And if you are a normal human being who is not asexual, you crave love and closeness, and you are like, yeah, I'll live with someone, and I want to be able to live with someone that I can trust their decisions, and maybe they could provide for me if they're making a little bit more money than me.
Hey,
Help
there's
you
nothing
provide,
wrong with
yeah.
that. I feel like, I think like younger me would have definitely talked shit and looked down on me now.
Same.
Like fucking
What are
bitch.
you
like
doing?
you fucking, how dare you? How dare you?
Submissive ass bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you're a sellout. But really though, it's like
No. There's nothing wrong with relationships.
Randy told me the other day too, and I loved it, where he was like, I don't know, I don't think women should see it as a negative thing when a man, like a man with good intentions and that really loves you will want to provide for you to, take care of you and your children and for you to like enjoy your life. Like he wants me to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow,
I love that.
ladies,
And so
download this audio, send that clip to your man.
Send it over.
Yes, that is a real man.
Well, okay, there's levels to that too, though.
Love you, baby. I said it. I'll say it again.
Randy said it.
There are levels. Like I love
you,
that
Randy.
thinking for sure. And if you make a good amount of money, like like your woman could definitely have a good life with her kids and live.
Oh yeah, if I was like a
lavishly.
millionaire, like I'll take care of you, baby.
But like
Exactly. Oh, in a
realistically,
heartbeat.
a lot of women have to take care of their kids and slave away and not get paid and not live that great of a life, and then just have to take care of your man's kids forever.
And if you are a woman trying to look good all the time, like think of all the expenses that you have that men don't have. Absolutely. And then like the wage gap, like no, like men should absolutely be like at least paying one of your bills or something. Like I'm not saying that to like make men feel like, oh my God, like I'm not doing enough if you're struggling. But I'm just saying, like, if you're in a relationship with a woman where you're making more money than her, like you better not be making her pay equal rent. I swear to fucking God. That's trash. Like you better figure it out where you're providing for her more if you're making more money. Because if she's going to raise your children, she's popping out a child for you. Like, do you know what women's bodies go through? Oh my God. Like, no. Like, no. You better not be expecting your woman to do all these things, cook for you, clean the house, also work, and expecting her to have a child. And
look good.
Take care of the child and fucking look good while she does all this. And you're making her pay half the rent. Like, oh my God. If somebody here is listening and your man's making you pay half the rent and you're doing all this. No. You need to sit down and have a calm conversation. Don't go at it the way I'm talking right now. Like, calm down. I know.
But really though, like being a mom is a full-time fucking job.
Shout out the moms.
So seriously, like shout out. Like not everyone can do what you can do, and I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind being a stay-at-home mom for like a couple of years, like the important, years.
Yeah, but you gonna get compensated as if you
what
were
I'm saying, and I've had that
a
conversation.
babysitter,
Absolutely,
and a teacher.
I told him I was
and
like,
a house cleaner.
Absolutely, and I told him I was like, I'm gonna,
exactly.
pop these babies out. Like I'm obviously gonna fucking love them, but I need my boobs to be like reconstructed afterwards. Like if I feel some type of way, like you're gonna have to help me.
And my vagina.
Yeah.
And I
Don't
think
forget about that.
the vagina.
All of it, whole body snatched.
Absolutely. And that's if they're making like bank. And I know,
Yeah.
And we better be traveling the whole time because, like, man, like some of these nannies out here making dough, taking care of people's kids, and they get to travel all the time.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
they
what
get
like
paid
men need to
and they get to
realize.
travel?
Yeah,
So, like, I'd rather have a nanny.
yeah. If you're gonna have
So
your
pay, or
wife
pay me.
stay home after she pops out the kids, like, oh man, like she is taking care of your kids, so you don't have to pay a babysitter, you don't have to pay a teacher, and you don't have to pay for a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Her looking good still, cleaning the house, a house cleaner.
Just don't get a nanny like in Deadly.
I honestly
Oh,
don't mind
God.
any of it. Just like help me take care of my body. I don't mind doing any of it.
Yeah.
I don't like.
No,
I
just
will
appreciate all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't gotta pay me. Just pay my fucking titties.
Yeah, like men think that, like, oh, because she's staying home and she's a housewife, just staying home with the kids all day. So I'm providing for her, so she has to do everything for me. You don't deserve to be submitted to just because you're doing that. You only deserve to be submitted to is if your wife is home, happy doing that on her own fucking, like, her decisions. She thought about it. She loves you, and she knows that you're out there doing everything for the family. Like, oh my God, men that cheat on their wives that are at home with kids, oh my God, need to go to hell and need to get stabbed, need to get their balls chopped off and shoved in their throat while they're on fire so they all melt together.
Yes, because if you're not even thinking about your fucking wife, like, what about your kids, bro? Like, not even your fucking kids cross your mind? Like, are you kidding me? You're trash.
Can't believe it. April, you need another drink?
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. We're taking a pause.
Okay.
All right. We're back. We made drinks. So back to this shit. Another positive thing for submitting to Yo Person. No unnecessary conflicts. Which brings me to a tweet that I have about this. I actually posted it on my Instagram, Simpin After Dark. At Don't Worry About B tweeted, the denial of leadership in a relationship happens in many ways, like when a woman addresses how she feels about something and the man rejects it because his needs aren't being met either, without even making a real attempt to correct the problem she has first and seeing how this plays out for him. So we all been there, you know.
Wait, so okay, what's like an example of this? Or are you finishing the tweet?
She does have a part 2, so I'll read that first, then we can get into it. And then she says, I'm not suggesting that a man's needs do not matter because they are also very important. However, the finger pointing will go back and forth forever if there is never an established role of leadership where one party steps up first and assumes the risk of doing what it takes to thrive.
Yes, I love that.
Yes. So for example, if I'm like, hey, Alexa, I don't appreciate that the other day we went out to dinner and you did this, like, whatever. It was rude, okay?
And I'm automatically just like, well, you didn't fucking do this.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Or last week, you did this thing.
Exactly.
We've all fucking been
Do you remember
there.
last week? Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, what
Or
the
you
fuck?
never.
So you mean you've been felt this way, and instead of like bringing this up on your own time, you decided to piggyback on me coming to you as an adult to communicate. What?
This is what pisses me off because usually men will see it as like nag, 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 you know, but women will often, majority of the time, want to communicate their feelings and what bothers them. And I'm sorry that usually men don't fucking do that. So
and it's always every time. Like,
every fucking time.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've been with like dudes that are like, well, you know what? I feel ways about many things. I just don't bring it up because I just don't like to start problems. It's like, is it because you don't like to start problems, or is it because it genuinely didn't bother you until I came to you with a problem and you wanted to combat it with something
it's too much
to come back to me?
It's probably too much effort.
Or you don't like to communicate. You don't like confrontation because it doesn't have to be an issue. But now that you're doing this, it's kind of an issue because if it's a pattern now, I don't like that. We're not doing this.
I think people are just trying to not, or like minimize conflict and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
it's like dodging. It's dodging accountability.
In reality, though, I mean, it's going to come up sooner or later. So you're just letting it build.
Yeah. It's going to come up either in like another direct confrontation, or it's going to come up again where you are both doing the things that are bothering each other, because it's not going to get resolved if this is what's happening every time.
And that's what I try to avoid, is like that fucking buildup. You want to avoid that, because then it's so fucking toxic. So get it out when it fucking happens.
Yes.
And resolve it.
Yeah. That's what I kind of do appreciate this thing about like submitting for like the need of avoiding unnecessary conflicts.
If only they renamed the article, they would bring in so many other people.
So it says, are you butting heads with your husband over trivial things time and time again?
Shit.
Well, I mean, usually these Christian websites are like, husband and wife, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
No, why can't it be like, the other way around?
Eve and Eve, whatever.
No, I'm talking about...
Like,
submit
to your
wife. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, for me, the reason this makes sense is because, back then, women weren't working. Now we are. So I think as a woman that's working all the time, it's nice to not have to be the dominant one outside of work as well. Like just being able to come home balance. And just like trusting that your man can handle this shit, but or you're like your partner.
Okay, playing devil's advocate.
Okay,
I know you love. Don't you think men love that too, secretly?
I'm sure they do, but they don't have to worry about all these other things that women do. Like, this is a man's world. They don't have to deal with all these extra stresses and pressures of, like, being a woman in a man's world. Like, especially if you're working in a male-dominated industry. You're not dealing with that. I can go on, but I think you guys get it. Like, no. Like, women deserve a break when they come home.
No. But, okay, like, for example, men come home to, like, we're talking about a situation where a man comes home to a wife or whatever. They probably want to come home to a woman who can take care of his taxes and shit.
That's usually
right. Well, that's literally. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that doesn't relate to what I just said, though. Like a woman's, if you're already out working as the wife.
No,
too,
I'm talking about like a stay-at-home mom or something.
You're taking care of the kids already, cleaning the house, cooking.
But who said we have kids?
Even if you don't, you're saying if you're a stay-at-home wife, you're cleaning the house.
Well, you're right, yeah.
And cooking. Like, you're already doing all these things. Come on, April, don't fall into that trap. No, women are always doing more. I'm
just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, that's why nobody should play devil's advocate, because she already works against this. So stop doing that, everybody. But I appreciate you.
Well, no, that's not fair. I mean, this is not a man-hating platform.
Yes, it is. I'm just kidding.
She said it here.
I love men. I'm just kidding. I don't. No, I appreciate men. I just think that women's supremacy should be a thing. And anyway, next point.
You appreciate men? Do you date men?
I do. I have a boyfriend. Your marriage will flourish. Number 4. Some people will tell you that in marriage, both the husband and wife have their roles. For instance, the husband's role is to lead, protect, and provide. I agree. While the wife's purpose is to nurture, care, and support. I do agree. I just think that is our like evolutionary, like it's in us.
It's
to do those things.
Built. Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it says like that's when marriage flourishes. And I think even if you're in like a woman-woman, man-man relationship, I think like one of you ends up taking one of those roles versus the other, you know? Or it evens out in a way. Like there are roles to be had. Like life is a stage. There are always roles that need to be played, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you may not like this division into roles, but you can't deny that each spouse has their own needs. Husbands want their wives to respect them and rely on them, while wives want to feel safe and cherished. By submitting to your husband, you fulfill his needs and encourage him to take care of yours too. And fulfilled needs ensure a long and happy marriage. How are we feeling?
I agree with that. I do.
April, any qualms?
What are the qualms?
Any qualms?
You know how I feel.
So, like, okay. I was reading another tweet that said men, want to be appreciated and something, and women want to be cherished and protected, whatever. I can agree with that. And, like, the most black and white, like, gender compliant shit. Like, yeah. I am a cis woman. I don't know how straight I am, but I can relate to these things, you know? I'm not speaking for, like, non-gender conforming people because I don't know. I can assume that like there are still roles, but I do think if people perform their roles, that shit will go much more smoothly. Mm-hmm. And that's why these conversations need to be had. April, if you want to be the one that's leading, protecting, and providing while your person is nurturing, caring, and supporting, that's fine. But I think these things, if they're communicated and people play their role,
exactly,
shit will go a lot smoother. Yes. It's like a workplace environment, like anything.
Say, yeah, like
if you're all trying to be the boss,
literally Nightshade. You know what I mean? It's like we have our producer, and then we have like the art director. We have like we're production designers. Everyone has a role, and I think that's just the way. Things run smoother that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Everyone plays your part. Mm-hmm. Like everything goes as planned.
Yes.
Yeah.
According to plan.
So then it says like how to submit to your husband, let him take the lead, ask him for his opinion, think of his needs, try not to criticize him or speak negatively of him, be intimate frequently, talk to him about the changes in your marriage, don't accept abusive behavior. So, you know, they had to throw in that last one, don't accept abusive behavior, because, you know, it starts to get blurry, some of these things. Where it's like, try not to criticize him or speak negatively of him. You know, as long as you don't do it in like a fucked up way, because nobody wants to be on the receiving end of that.
I agree with that. You know, like we said, it's like the constructive criticism, I think, is how it's your approach to how, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's always about the approach,
definitely.
I think. Okay, so then there's another article, intentionaltoday.com. I don't really know what this is either. Marriage coaching, home, books, and courses blog. Is it possible to submit to a man who is not your husband yet? I was dying at this shit. So this lady's talking about, like, I was hanging out with my friend. She's married. And, like, basically she was in the middle of, like, doing something, about to do something. And then her husband kind of was like, no, like, can you do this? And, like, it wasn't really a big deal. But then the wife mentioned to the husband that we're doing something else. And as they talked, I watched them. As I did, my heart was doing somersaults because I still had big issues about being told what to do. Eventually, the wife turned to me and said cheerily, okay, let us submit. That sounds very churchy to me.
Let us submit to God.
Yes. And she set about doing what her hubs requested. And then she says, I looked at her aghast. You are called to submit to your husband. I am not called to do that. I wailed in my mind. But because I wasn't about to make a scene, I nodded my head and quietly followed her lead. Also, looking back, the husband's request was no big deal.
Yeah. Okay, well, I just have to say, I can't judge because, like, this kind of situation is so common. Like, women just naturally submit to men.
Yeah.
And especially in, like, these, like, you know,
sounds so
family
ugly
settings where you have, like, older, you know, like, you know, aunts and moms and grandmas and shit who are of the older generation. And, you know, that's what they know. And it's, like, it's really hard to break that pattern. And especially, you know, or if you're around a bunch of women who live in this sort of suburban sort of lifestyle where, like, they just want to, they agree to submit. Like, that's just, like, they've known forever that that's what they want to do. They want to be a wife and a mother, which is
especially look at this ad on the side right here.
The wedding night.
The wedding night, embracing sexual intimacy as a new bride. Oh man, these people are virgins. Why am I on this website?
This website just gives me weird vibes.
Yeah,
so I'm just like confused by it.
It definitely gives me very like religious vibes. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like when I was looking at most of this submitting stuff was like about like religious stuff. So, but I can see how it carries into other things. It doesn't have to be marriage, which is like why I'm like confused. It's like, are you with this man or not? It shouldn't matter if you're married or not. It's like more about like how developed is this relationship? Like how serious are you guys? Do you respect him enough? Because I think if you do fully respect a man and trust him or a partner, you will submit if that is your role. If you are the more feminine one and they are the more masculine one, you probably will submit naturally. But that's where it's important that you trust them 100%.
But okay, when you're talking about submit, like, what are they talking about in this situation?
She said it was like no big deal. I think it's just saying avoiding conflict, avoiding like unneeded stress.
But you said someone else was like, oh, we need to do this. Sorry. And she's like, I don't like being told what to do.
She didn't specify. So in my head, it was like they were going to go inside and go bring out the potato salad. But then like the men were like, can you go pick some flowers? And then the wife's like, well, I was going to go get the potato salad. And the guy was like, come on, honey.
Right.
Get the flowers. Right. And then she was like, all right, let's submit. Which is fucking weird because honestly, I would be like, fuck you. I'll get the potato salad. Then I'll pick the flowers if it's not a big request. But that's what I'm saying. You have to trust your partner. Don't fall into these traps where you're like just submitting to like letting your man tell you what to do all the time. Yeah. And that's why I'm not like feet planted on like anything, you know?
Like just meant that's just different. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like, if it's like a what's the word for like a not important
thing? My man would never
thing.
fucking ask me that way though. Again, it's about the fucking approach. Like
but okay.
I trust you, but it's like if you're like I fucking said this.
Yeah, I don't think he said it like that. This is like a Christian website, but still, like if you're about to do, if it's something trivial, then why not just let her do what she was doing?
But I feel like what I kind of got from it kind of seemed like they're in a situation where like a woman is taking control of like what women are supposed to be doing, and she's like, come on, let's go. We have to go do this for the men. Mm-hmm. You know, and then the other woman is like, well, I don't like being told what to do. Like, I'm not, like, you're doing it because you're married to so-and-so, but I'm not married to this guy. So why do I got to follow your lead?
Yeah.
You know, which I totally understand. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Haven't you been in situations like that?
Personally, like, I'm like, like, whatever. Like, all right, let's just fucking do the damn thing. You know, something you have to pick your battles. Like it's not, like you said, if it's trivial, like it's just like these.
Yeah, if it's like a trivial thing that doesn't matter, like it's not like this crazy decision where it's like, oh my god, like do or die. Like if I'm in the middle of something, like let me do that. Yeah. And then if you would like for me to do something, you can request that. And if I feel like I like you today, I'm gonna do it. If not, then fuck you. Do it yourself.
I feel like most people would be like, hey, babe, after, like, you know, when you're done with that, can you go do this, please? Like,
yeah.
It's just, the wording
and that's
for me.
Something I wanted to bring up, too, with, like, this whole thing can turn into a thing where, like, somebody can be manipulative. Where, like, if you're with a dude that knows about this stuff and he's like, well, a woman is supposed to submit to a man. I feel like especially younger women, and I know there are younger women that listen to this podcast. So specifically, I want to say, don't fall into that trap. Like, don't let a man just tell you what to do for the sake of being submissive because of religion or because of this is what a good relationship is. Like, no. Like, it needs to, like, this is for once you're in a relationship where you're older, making big decisions, I think. Like, for me, when I was younger, no, there's no man that could have told me what to do ever. Maybe in bed. That's the only time because that's fun. But outside of that, no. I'm sorry. Even now, like, if I'm confident in my decision, even if it's been established that, like, hey, babe, like, these things, I don't even think it's like a spoken thing where it's like, I'm going to submit to you now.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, like, I trust you now, and, like, you make decisions, and you know that I trust you making those decisions. And that's
I feel like I just don't like the word submit.
Yeah,
it's got a negative connotation.
It does.
I think it's more of like commit, or like equal commitment.
Yeah, I just think it's more of trusting each other.
I feel like submit kind of makes it sound like you're submitting for, like, you know, that's your job to submit, and like you're the person that's going to be submissive 100% of the time. And I don't think any relationship is like 100%. You know, like, you know, one person's always dominant, one person's always submissive.
No.
Like, there's so many different factors to
I
it.
read a few articles, and, like, most of them did kind of specify that, where, like, it's not, like, one person that can never have any, like, input. Like, it's just, you know, where, like, if you can't decide or something, and it's like, well, I trust you. Like, just do what you think is best for us.
Yeah, everybody has their strengths.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just have to know your place, I guess. But
and a lot of things that kept coming up, too, was in raising kids.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because that's something you have to, like, be on board with each other, because shit will get complicated for children.
A motherfucking team. I mean,
I don't know.
That's just a whole different.
Yeah, that's a whole episode.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just encourage women to be, like, a little bit more dominant naturally, because, like, naturally in society, women are going to be more submissive, and there's, like, an unequal kind of, you know, like, level. Like, it's not an evil or equal playing field naturally.
Yeah.
So it's not equal. Even if you think it's equal, it's like, no, like, try to be a little bit more just dominant all around, and, like, but also don't be too, like, over the top where you're just, like, trying to be, you know, for no reason.
Don't submit to no man that doesn't deserve to be submitted to.
Yeah,
like,
but also, but don't be over the top, or, like, because I feel like sometimes I can kind of, like, fall into that, like, trap. I'm like, oh, I'm a feminist, blah, blah. Like, oh, this is awful. I can't be doing this because, no, I'm an independent woman, you know? But it's like,
as long as nobody sees, nobody got to know.
At the end of the day, you're in a partnership. And, like, if you love somebody and you trust them,
what feels right to
you're
you,
with them for a reason, then you have to put in an equal amount of, like, love and support and, you know, commitment and all these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, just don't get taken advantage of, and just,
of course,
I need to practice being more, like, submissive. I feel like
being more submissive.
I feel like I definitely.
I know what you
like,
mean, though. Yeah.
I can, you know, because I am a very dominant, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's because we're Hispanic too.
Exactly, but it's like I still let him say his piece, and I'll you know, I'll listen to him here and there. But I listen to him. I just always have to, like, say some shit. I have to talk my shit.
Well, that's not. I always grew up too with, like, I swear we watched that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and, like, this, like, quote from it. Like, my mom just never let us, like, not remember it.
I went to go watch that with you guys.
What?
You did? Oh my God.
Really?
Where it was like, a man is, like, the head of the house, but I am the neck.
Oh, yeah.
The women are the neck. So we like to let them think, like, in public, you can be the boss, baby, but really, you know who's the
I'm turning
boss.
you the ways we need to go. At the end of the day.
Fun fact.
What's the other? Wait, hold on. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say, fun fact. My Big Fat Greek Wedding is, like, one of the most, like, highest grossing, most profitable independent films ever made.
What?
Yeah.
I need to watch that again.
Like,
I love that movie.
It's one of the, like, the low budget ones that made, like, so much,
like, paranormal status.
Yeah, like, I think it's the top, and maybe it got beat recently, but I think it might be like the grandest.
I love it.
That's crazy. Did you have another quote from that
Respect.
you were going to say or something?
Oh, no, there was just a quote. Oh, fuck.
From my big fat.
Oh,
Big
like the one where it's like, take it how you want. Okay, I'm not saying it's whatever. It's I like it though. So it's like, behind every like good man is, or something like that. It's like behind every man is like a strong like fucking woman or something. Like
Oh,
or,
yeah.
what is it? Where it's
I've
like,
heard that so many times. I
Yes.
didn't know it was from that, and
That's
I'm
from
sure
the film?
I'm sure it didn't originate
no,
there.
no,
you know.
not from there. No,
Oh.
this is just
Oh,
like
okay.
before,
Oh, yeah,
before
yeah, yeah.
I cut you off.
Oh,
yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. I've talked about that before. Where like I appreciate that because I agree, but I had brought it up to saying like, you know what? Let's let women shine. Like, why does it always have to be behind a good man? But no,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely.
Like when it comes to
100%.
a partnership, like a lot of times, not every time, women push their men to be the most that they can be, and that's why it's not fair when like women just get portrayed as like being nagging or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like a woman that doesn't give a fuck about your future together is not gonna quote unquote nag you. Like
Yeah.
if she's trying to make you better, it's because she pictures something with you. Like who's gonna waste their time and go through these headaches of doing that if they don't give a fuck?
Dude, I also just saw another.
Seriously.
I think it was a tweet or something. I wish I had it because I could, credit them. But it was something like, you guys understand that like half of the population is raising the other half of the population, which is like saying that women are raising the other half.
Literally
of
the
the population.
moms and the girlfriends and the wives.
Are raising the other half of the
Damn.
population. What?
You know what's crazy? That quote.
That's crazy.
I've heard from men. Like men in my life have brought that quote up before
What?
because they truly believe that. They know it's the truth.
I mean, it's true.
It's the truth.
Because if you look at most, I wouldn't even say most, but a lot of dads are not raising anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of men that are creating a lot of profitable businesses. That's for sure. But like, yeah, who's raising this population? Shit.
Randy's about to be a house husband. He said, when I start making my millions, he said he's like, I'm fucking down to stay home with the kids and the dogs. That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Shit, who wouldn't want
I feel
that?
like so many men say that, but I don't think they realize all the work that entails, actually. But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true.
shout out to you, and I hope you can do it.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
You're right though. A lot of them just.
But
do
the
fucking
alternative-
They
say.
they
It's
just think
also
the baby
hard.
just chills there and the house stays clean
Hell no.
by itself.
the alternative is also hard too, though,
Yeah.
going to work every day, try to make the money,
Yeah.
the pressures.
For real, me, like, I would never have been like, I want to be provided for and like blah, blah, blah. The older I get, I'm like, I'm tired of working. Like, honestly, like, my dream job is what? I don't want to work. Dream job? No. I like being in my bed and being pampered.
I think Ashley's ideal job would be
So-
doing Simpin from her bed.
I would love that.
But if you had a
We should
guest,
do one episode like that.
bro,
We have to.
what if you had a guest on it, like in your bed every fucking week?
with the wine glass, just like chilling on bed, like.
And it's like,
I
look who
love
I have
that.
here today. And then like we pan over and we see her gas next to her bed.
Yo, I
Bitch, for your
swear.
Patreon.
I know. Yeah, keep an eye out. I'm
It'll just be us
gonna
in the
launch
bed
a
next to her.
Patreon soon.
Ooh.
So
Set
if you
that
guys, if you guys would like to support me, because I appreciate people that have reached out to me and have like said like, I hope you get more exposure. Like it's manifested. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are so fucking sweet. Like people that want to support me and all this. Oh my God. Like I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you anybody who supports this podcast, shares, tells their friends, whatever. But yeah, I'm launching a Patreon. So if you want to support me with $1 a month, like if I get $1 per listener a month, like that would help a lot. Yeah, with just anything.
We're $7 a month.
7, 20, 100. I don't know how
Whatever
rich you
you
are.
want.
I got any rich listeners? Help me out. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause alcohol is not free.
Yeah.
No, on the real, like, man, there's a lot of upkeep here at Wild 7 at Simpin
There
After Dark.
is, and like
Nightshade
I wish I
Collective.
could pay these ladies. Like they help me every single week setting up. Like
This
this
right
isn't
here.
this isn't just here this setup for the viewers. Like we do this, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and I appreciate you ladies for helping me do this every week.
This here is therapy, so this is like I love
It
this.
is.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Payback right here.
It's always going to be
And I
here.
appreciate all my guests that have ever been on, and like I said, I appreciate all the listeners, everyone that follows me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Simpin After Dark. You can follow my personal at Ash_Friday_ on Instagram. What about you, ladies?
Oh, you can follow me at Alexa Janelle on Instagram and follow Nightshade Collective. Yeah. We have some shit coming out. Oh, follow us on TikTok too, because you will, I don't know, should we kind of like drop a little hint?
A little hint, yeah.
Go ahead
yeah, we have a lot of, which shout out all my Latina, Hispanic followers. Everybody else too, I love you. And if you are into novelas, we did a parody of novelas. I don't know how long ago. Is it on YouTube?
4 years ago.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. It's on my personal YouTube right now, but we're going to relaunch it like on Nightshade and Wild 7.
We're reshooting. But
yeah, like we're posting a few little bits on TikTok, so check us out. And for those of you listeners that don't know, because I don't know if we've ever done a proper introduction, Nightshade Collective, we're a creative collective of production designers, art directors, filmmakers, photographers, and all this stuff.
Producer, director, all that.
We do a little bit of everything, and check us out. We have a lot of cool content coming out and cool films. Oh, by the way, Hollow Hour is a short film that we worked on together. I directed. They did the production design. It was a Nightshade Collective and Wild 7 Studios production. We just got into some festivals, so we're super excited. So congrats to the team. We're super stoked. A lot of good things coming. You can follow me on Instagram at AprilDirects, and then follow Wild 7 Studios at Wild 7 Studios on Instagram, and check us out on YouTube and everything else.
Yeah. Email me at simpinafterdark@gmail.com. DM me. Let me know what you want to talk about. I had some questions I was going to answer today, but we're kind of running out of time. I don't want to do this for too long, and I want to be thoughtful about my responses. So next episode, they keep hitting me up. I hope you guys enjoy the music. Let me know what music you want me to cover. Go follow or like my playlist on Spotify, Simpin After Dark. Yeah. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Wild 7 Podcast Network. Listen different.